Oh my god. You guys won't believe this with God's signs. This is amazing. So, I know that my home has a historical landmark which shows up as like a brook, which is like a crown. It's the chess piece that looks like a king's crown. And the historical landmark symbol did not show up on my home on Google Maps when I purchased the home and when the home was listed for sale. It must have been there before. So when the house was available for sale, there was no historical landmark symbol on Google Maps. And shortly after I purchased the home, the symbol appeared, which was a crown. And we all know that we are a peculiar generation and a royal priesthood. So guys, I thought it was pretty cool that my home was a historical landmark. I was pretty sure that I was one of the 144,000. I figured this out pretty quickly after the discard. But I still wasn't 100% sure. I was like probably 99% sure, and I would tell people. But this King's Crown showing up on my home on Google Maps is amazing. Because I looked into it a little bit, not that much. And today I did. I did further investigation and further digging on the historical landmark symbol. So the city that I live in has more than 35,000 people that live here. And so there's quite a few homes, businesses, like parks, museums, things like that. And at first, when I searched historical landmark and the name of my city, I got 19 results. So I thought, oh, there's 19. But actually that was incorrect, because Google autofilled near my city. So it wasn't the number of historical landmarks in my city. It was in my city and near my city. Well, when I just put in my city name now, how many historical landmarks are only in my city and not near my city? It's 17. There are 17 historical landmarks in my city. And guess what else? I look up these historical landmarks, and they're like museums, downtown, old railroads, a farm or something. No, it wasn't like a farm. What was it? Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys what these historical landmarks are without giving away the name of my town. So, when I do a search here on Google, it says historical landmark in my town. So one's Metropolitan Block. So that's on Main Street, and it's just like the old town. It was built in the 1800s with old architecture. Then they have Locomotive Works historical marker. So I'm clicking on that to see what that is. Locomotive Works. It's a small shed-sized building, and it says it's a park. And it might be related to steam. I think this town made a lot of money off of steam technology in the 1800s, and so people were wealthy, and that's when my home was built, and that's why my home's so cool. But people are poor now because the steam technology isn't being used, and all the manufacturing is being done in China. Let's see. Okay, so it's a train depot. So it's actually a place that you can go and look at exhibits. See what else they have here. Then here's my home. Okay, then there's a bridge. It's like a big bridge that goes over the water. It's like Golden Gate Bridge, but it's in my small town. Like, how cool is this? My small town has like 1800s architecture, a giant bridge, like a big lake that you can go swimming in, a railroad depot. This is another landmark. An opera house. Locomotive Works site is on here. Korean War Memorial. So a war memorial. And a quarry, which is a historical landmark. A former railroad house, so these probably ran off of steam engines. And then there is a fort, something site memorial obelisk. So we have an obelisk too. But that has to do with the military. And we have a historical farm where they have World War II reenactments. A historical farm. Let me click on this. Yeah, so I guess this is a place that you can go visit. They have no Wi-Fi. Great. So nobody lives here. Nobody lives here. Awesome place where you can have like a bridal shower. This is what the review says. Awesome place for a bridal shower. Great facility, great people, great event. So I don't think this is residential. I don't think anyone is living here. Oh, it's a giant park, and it's perfect for an event. The first review says we hosted our wedding here and utilized the pergola for the ceremony. There's a pergola with a barn. Is this the free place to have a wedding? Cool. It's a historical landmark in my city. Cool. It's beautiful. They have like a giant chandelier. Okay. And maybe you could plan your wedding here while they are doing the World War II reenactment. This is funny. They got soldiers with guns. See what else? Oh, they have Historical Society and a museum. I looked at the farm for a while just to make sure that no one lived there because I wasn't sure. Sometimes people do live at historical farms. In this case, it looks like no. Okay, then we have a Shawnee Indian Reservation here. Oh, well, I don't think any Indians live there. It's a military reserve historical marker. So let me click this and see what this one says. Even if people did live here, it's not the same as one home that is a historical landmark. Like, that's amazing. So, Indian Reservation Military Reserve marker. And it's in front of a cornfield. So, I've not seen a lot posted on here. I don't think this is an Indian reservation. Well, it says it is, but it looks like a cornfield. Anyways, Indian Reservation Military Reserve Historical Marker. Okay, that might possibly be residential, but if it were, it'd be a community and not a home. Let's see what else we have here. And then another fort park, so a military park. And then we have a children's garden. Let's see what about this children's garden here. A great place to bring kids, full of things to discover in the children's garden. My two grandsons enjoyed looking for Halloween rocks. Well, we can get our rocks there. I guess the rocks are free. And it has a very peaceful atmosphere. So, see, the first review is, kids love spending time at the garden, leaning and playing. I think they meant to put learning. We normally ride our bikes here, so it makes up for a good exercise. Beautiful place to relax while the kids take in nature after a couple-mile ride. Oh, you can ride your bikes there, and you can get free rocks and bring the kids, the children, which I don't have. Okay, let's see here. McDonald House. Oh, it's a mansion. It's a museum. So what this is it's a really old Victorian mansion, which is set up as a museum, so you can see what it would have looked like in the 1800s. My house was built in the early 1900s, so honestly the architecture is probably similar, but my house is kind of shabby compared to this museum where they've got everything repaired. Let's see. So this is a house, like a really nice house, but it's actually a museum, and I don't think anyone lives here. So, the first review says this place is actually very cool, particularly if you have an opportunity to take a full guided tour. Every room has a story, and the craftsmanship that went into each is superb. during the Christmas holidays, they put up a decorated tree in almost every room. Okay, Bible tells you not to do that, so don't be putting up your pagan trees. Okay, but anyways, it does look nice. It looks beautiful. Second review says don't waste your time. Apparently, it's not open for very many hours. But then other people gave it 5 stars. So, these are the historical landmarks. There's museums, forts, an Indian reservation marker, which I don't think any Indians live there, a bridge, downtown, an obelisk, a quarry, a war memorial, an opera house, a railroad station, a railroad depot, so I already mentioned the bridge, locomotives, historical marker, and my house. There you have it. So the king's crown showed up on my house after I moved in.